Discard this high style. I know how people used to communicate in your century. Now I can breathe. He seems relaxed. I must help him and go home. I hope it will be quick and safe. It won't. How can I help you, sir? How to serve you better, so that I do not deserve your wrath to come? Better I will say so again, than see the bloodstains instead of shadows. But what guarantees do I have that he will not kill me after I have helped him? I must reject these thoughts. Everything will be fine. This is fine! I mean, you just turn the shadows to blood, that's fine. It's all fine. Anyway, I have a chance to survive, if I do not anger him. Or rather, if he does not get angry. My fair Lady Isabel was gone. Although I incorrectly expressed it, but in order that you may understand me, I need to tell you more. Oh, good. That actually might be helpful. As I said, death overtook me many centuries ago, but I died before my beautiful Lady Isabel, and she should have been put in the same grave with me, so she's buried somewhere else. But here too the time has passed that people do not live, but she is still away. And I miss her and I suffer, but I do not have the legs to go look for her. And then I need you, alive, with your feet. If this turns into some weird foot fetish thing, I'm out. I am out. No foot jobs. Never. You must be somewhere in the same cemetery as me. After all, there were no other burials in the city in addition to this when I was still alive. Oh, how great it was in that time. Feasts, hunting, and the joy of family life. Information given by him was not enough, but I had to work with it. There's an old grave and it belongs to the woman. It is necessary to find out more details. Do not count me as being rude to you, my wise master. But tell me more about the Lady Isabel, so I can find her. After all, it's a large cemetery, and I need to know what I need to find. Of course, I will tell you how I missed the conversation. Last, my companion was a drifter like you. It was probably a couple of months ago. But alas, he was extremely stupid. I had to leave. But I'm smarter than him. At least, I do not sit in the corner crying, calling for my mother. That's good. Close your eyes, and you will see what I mean, and I will show you how to help in the search. I do not want to repeat the fate of failed assistants. Of course, he did not say what he did with them, but it should be clear that the phrase, and they lived happily ever after, you could say about anyone but them. So, I knew I'd rather shut my eyes as he spoke. Okay. I closed my eyes, and instead of the usual darkness, I saw the face of a young girl. Her eyes were closed. Her face was full of serenity. The image on my eyelids were full of distortions. The same distortions suffered from broken holographic projectors from molds. Interesting comparison. God, Isabel was lovely. Her face was more beautiful than anyone who had lived, in my opinion. When she walked into the main hall, we all as one felt like our hearts skipped a beat. She had the temperament of a deer, and her kindness and modesty all were kept in her face. How could I not love such an angel who came down from heaven? She was, of course, much younger than me, but lower by origin. Plain farmer, but it was said she did wonders. Greeted people in just a simple wave of her hand, but only one eye and a kind word that left her lovely lips. She helped those who were blind, and those who lost their mind from grief or drinking could get their lives back together. She was believed to be holy by the people. He's recovering his mind, obviously, which could not hurt. But something about this history is dull. He's trying to hide something. I feel it. He killed her. I loved her. Or just, again, she realized he was a dick. I was like, peace, I'm out. And asked that we be put in the grave together. I knew that I would live much less than before old age gets to her. But the devil tricked me in the graveyard. He did not fulfill my last will. Find her. I suffer without her for eternity. Have you memorized the face I showed you? Yes, my dear sir. A truly beautiful and pious woman she was. Excellent. So open your eyes. The vision was gone, as if it was a film that spun on my eyelids, and I was back in the familiar catacomb. Go, you smart, filthy peasant. Oh. Oh, yeah, we might as well save. I'm just gonna rotate through the slots. and bring it to me, and I'll crush your head if you come back without her. Well then! Get down to business. Information is sufficient to start the search. Judging by what Randolph said, it is necessary to look for the grave with the image of an angel or a statue. This may be simply a monument to a young girl. It is unlikely that she died much later, so the grave must be somewhere near. Inspect all around better. Then take a walk after work, and now another job, even worse. No salaries, the chief is a legless ghost, death threats in case of failure, and instead of the office, only cold evening cemetery. Doubtful evening's entertainment. If I went home, it would probably be better. If it were possible to load the last save game and start over again, I would have done it, but this is not a game. If it was a game, you always have to play some unobtrusive theme music in the background, or I'd have to listen to that. I cannot hear anything. If it is a game, then now is the time to change the theme music to the kind suitable for investigations. I like that it's sung. I always wanted to be a detective, and now I had a suitable case. That's a positive from this whole situation. So it is necessary to continue the search further. While I was standing here thinking, I saw a false statue nearby that looks like an angel. Why did I say false? I will go to it. That's not her, though. According to the description, it seems like I found it. I should try to attract attention. Soon will be time to go to bed, and I understand all the problems with ghosts. Let us proceed. Ahem, are you Lady Isabel? Very strange to ask that of a statue, but I do not see a sign with your name or something like that. I need to know who you are. I got sent by Sir Randolph, and if I do not find Lady Isabel, he's probably going to kill me. So, if you could hear me, I beg you, help a guy out. Not so easy to push a silent statue to talk, especially a beautiful one. Perhaps she was even more beautiful in life. A real femme fatale, the femme fatale of the detectives. No cigarettes and languid movements, however, but everyone has their shortcomings. I understand that you do not want to talk, but you are so beautiful that I'm not leaving till I hear at least a word from you. That doesn't sound like Isabel. What a persistent young man you are. I do not want you to be immediately upset, but I'm not Lady Isabel. I am Lady Alanis. I knew Randolph and Isabel. Look at the children's cemetery for Isabel. She was still a child when death overtook her, but I do not advise you look for her. You will not be saved even if you will find Isabel. She will not go with you to Randolph after what he did to her with her innocent child's life. I knew he did something. I helped you, and I will not tell you anything else. Go well and leave me in peace. Do not break with words the wonderful sound of wind walking in the leaves. The more I learn about this story, the less I want to understand it, but I have no choice. Although I can try to run away, I have a bad feeling about this. Or I could stay and talk more with the beautiful lady. I think there's a couple of stories that she can tell. Let's talk with Alanis. Their choice. Maybe she knows how to get out of this mess, although she does not want to speak directly, but can give something in passing. Nice to meet you, Lady Alanis. Let me talk to you? It must be boring to spend all your time here without the ability to talk to someone. You're right. Talking is what the dead miss so much. Previously, I tried to talk to the cemetery visitors, but they ran away. And they could be understood. It is not every day you see a talking statue, speaking with a voice coming straight from the grave. If that happened to me, I would without hesitation begin to run. How did you meet this madman? How did you manage to survive the meeting with him? Usually those who wander past him no longer go out, and I do not want to think what he did with them. I was walking in the park after work, and the road led me to the cemetery. Passing the graves, I heard a voice coming out of the catacombs, calling someone. I decided to see what was happening when someone is in trouble. So I met with Randolph. I survived because I agreed to help, but I feel that I was on the verge of death or something worse. But enough about me. Tell me about yourself, beautiful lady. You flatter me, though of course the statue was made by famous masters, but they were unable to hide my imperfections. Yes, and I died already advanced in years. I was 40 when I last saw spring. We were from the neighboring counties with Sir Randolph, as you call him. I was a little older than him, and saw the whole story, which you have to unravel to get out of here alive. I was the wife of a small baron, and spent most of my time taking care of her home. My life was easy and calm. The baron was a good man. He loved me, loved children. and grief and sorrow had we not. About him I will not say more. It is too sad to disturb vivid memories. You have something in common with him. I do not see you, but the voice is clearly close, although it's muted by earth and worms that scurry around. Tell us what made Randolph terrible. You constantly mention it, but you have not told me the details. As I said, I rarely left the house, so all I heard were just rumors and human speculation. People tend to gloss over something. So Randolph was insane. He was not seen talking to the portraits on the walls and howling at the moon during a full moon, but he constantly heard voices and believed that angels spoke with him. But the worst were the laws which he published in great abundance. They were absolutely insane and extremely cruel. About some of them I will tell you, young master, but remember that they can be largely hearsay. One of the laws of the peasants was that they were forbidden to stand on 2 feet when they saw knights on the horseback. Those who disobeyed and lost their balance, he had their leg cut off and thrown bleeding into the wheat fields. Oh, so they had to stand on one leg. That's dumb. Legs of violators were to be delivered to him in the castle. Randolph collected them. According to the stories, he had a whole room filled up with a collection of decaying feet. It is also said that he was clairvoyant. In this direction, it was not surprising that many wanted to kill him. He avoided every attempt, as if he knew all the details about himself. According to another law, there were holes in the roofs of all the houses, so by Randolph's plan, it could improve the ventilation and overcome all diseases. But as you might guess, it had the opposite effect. During the rains, the house is filled with water. People were constantly ill. So Randolph considered this the machinations of Satan, which was supported by the clergy, and passed a law which is directly related to the Lady Isabel. Here we go. Under this law, all the girls of this land that were innocent were all taken to his castle before the demons reached them and spoiled them. Among them, these women were Isabel, a peasant girl from a village on the border of his land. Extraordinarily beautiful, but mainly different. The villagers thought she was a saint. Okay, yeah, this kind of meshes with what he said. Angels talked to her. She treated people with her touch and stuff like that. Remind you of anyone? Actually, on this the clergy agreed with Sir Randolph. You madmen think a higher power talks to them, find a lot of common topics of conversation. The church encouraged their friendship, and everything in general was progressing to a wedding. There had to be a transformation from an ordinary peasant woman to Lady Isabel.